thy wisdom and goodness, hast appointed the office of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of men and women, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in these islands, that thy blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of these islands and those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. And this we beg for Jesus Christ's sake. Amen. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all evermore. Amen.
Morning, members. House is now in session. Members, the minutes of the meeting from the 21st of November have been circulated. Are there any amendments required? There are none. The minutes will be printed as confirmed. Messengers from the governor? There are none. Announcements by the speakers? There are no absences this morning. That's been acknowledged, so that's good. I would like to just remind members, though, that we will be having a post-election seminar in January, and it's from the 24th to the 28th, so mark your calendars accordingly. Most members have indicated that they will be present. We're still waiting for the remaining members to acknowledge the receipt of emails and inform Mrs. Place. Appreciate that you do it as soon as possible. Thank you. Messengers from the Senate? There are none. Papers and other communications to the House? There are 5 papers this morning. The first is in the name of the Premier, Minister of Finance. Premier?
Good morning to you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the powers conferred by Section 96 of the Constitution, I have the honor to attach and submit for the consideration of the Honorable House Assembly Supplementary Estimate Number 1 for financial year 2025-26.
Thank you. The next is in the name of the Junior Minister of Justice, MP Lister.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
I have the honor to attach and submit for the information of the Honorable House of Assembly the Criminal Code Prohibited Weapons Amendment Order 2025 as made by the Governor in exercise of the power conferred by Section 315A of the Criminal Code Act 1907.
Thank you. The next is in the name of the Minister for Cabinet, his spokesman for Education.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
I have the honor to attach and submit for the information of the Honorable House of Assembly the Bermuda College Annual Report 2024-2025 and the Bermuda College Audited Financial Statements for the year ended March 31st, 2025. Thank you.
He done 2 for those who are listening because I said 5. I didn't want to think that was 1. And the last one is in the name of the Minister of Labor and Economy and Labor. Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to attach and submit for the information of the House of Assembly the November 2024 Labor Force Survey Report.
Thank you. Members, that concludes the papers and communications to the House this morning. The next item on the order paper, petitions. There are none. We now move on to statements by ministers and junior ministers. And this morning, members, we have quite a handful of them. There are 12 such statements. The first is the name of the Premier, Minister of Finance. Premier.
Good morning to you, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members will be aware of my recent attendance at the Joint Ministerial Council in London, known as JMC, which is the highest political forum between the UK government and the elected governments of the overseas territories. Mr. Speaker, I was pleased to be accompanied by the Honorable and Learned Attorney General, who sits in another place, and was also joined by the Honorable Member, the Minister of Economy and Labor, while in London supporting the Bermuda Business Development Agency at their London Business Forum. Minister Haywood represented Bermuda on the JMC plenary with British Expertise International and UK Export Finance. The ministerial delegation was most ably supported by the London office team led by Ms. Kimberly Durant and Mr. Brandon Souza. Mr. Speaker, as a result of ongoing discussions with the UK government throughout the year, it was agreed by the elected leaders of the overseas territories to focus on the relationship and the foundation of the next steps for the partnership and governance of the overseas territories. Honorable members will no doubt recall that the 2012 white paper entitled, and I quote, "The Overseas Territories, Security, Success, and Sustainability," end quote, which currently enshrines a relationship between the territories, the UK government. Mr. Speaker, since the establishment of the white paper, we have witnessed global shifts that no longer reflect the political dynamics of that time. Leaders across the territory, supported by the Minister of State, Stephen Doughty, MP, agreed that require long-term vision setting, a sustainable and secure relationship. Mr. Speaker, the UK government has expressed the challenges with producing a renewed white paper, and as such, specific compacts per territory will be devised to fit the specific needs and circumstances dedicated to each territory. The compacts will provide a strong and merit-based approach in how we engage with the appropriate departments across Whitehall. The process will be jointly decided in what is hoped to be a transparent process leading to an accountability framework. The compact will take the form of a memorandum of understanding between the Government of Bermuda and the UK government. I have conveyed to the Minister the Government of Bermuda's commitment to constructively engage in this process. We look forward to confirming and finalizing the agreement, at which time I'll provide an update to the House and the agreed terms. Mr. Speaker, an important feature of this busy week in London is a bilateral meeting between the Minister and the territory's elected leader. In this meeting, several issues were canvassed, and I can advise this Honorable House of two key areas that were discussed. First, Mr. Speaker, honorable members will recall that this government's undertaking in the 2025 speech from the throne to constitutional reform. I was pleased to confirm, sorry, Mr. Speaker, that, I'll continue. I was pleased to confirm to the minister responsible that considerable work has been done towards the introduction of the promised report for the consideration of the legislature on the process proposed to be adopted. The minister similarly confirmed the UK government's commitment to engage closely with each territory whose democratic will is to revise its constitution. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Government of Bermuda, I was likewise pleased to reaffirm our commitment to work collectively with the United Kingdom government to tackle illicit finance. On enhanced transparency measures, this government has committed to legitimate interest access to registers of beneficial ownership information in line with global standards with the necessary safeguards to protect rights to privacy in line with our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, a specific note was made of Bermuda's sanctions regime and the efforts taken through the Ministry of Justice to strengthen sanctions capabilities through robust enforcement. Mr. Speaker, despite the busy schedule of UK ministers owing to the budget, the JMC featured engagement with UK ministers, including the Right Honourable the Lord Hanson, Minister of State at the Home Office. The minister emphasized his understanding and acceptance of the UK's responsibility to protect the people of the overseas territories and to strengthen internal security. It was noted that there continues to be a need for greater coordination between governments on matters such as prison reforms, defense and operational support, and working with multi-agencies to achieve solutions where required. The work already done on the Governor's Council will be strengthened and supported through regional cooperation and action. Mr. Speaker, honorable members will have taken note of the publication of the United Kingdom Overseas Territories Biodiversity Strategy by the UK Minister for Nature and Natural Environment. The strategy was drafted together with officials from Bermuda, other overseas territories governments, and the United Kingdom in a genuine collaborative effort. Mr. Speaker, our President of London provided additional opportunities for key engagement on behalf of Bermuda. Honorable members will have noted that His Excellency the Governor and I attended a reception at Buckingham Palace hosted by His Majesty King Charles III. I further had the pleasure of meeting with the newly appointed Foreign Secretary, the Right Honorable Yvette Cooper, MP, Foreign Secretary, and with the Economic Secretary to the Treasury, Lucy Rigby Casey, MP. Mr. Speaker, the highlight of my visits to London is engaging with our young Bermudians during the London office annual dinner for students and recent graduates. Mr. Speaker, the room was filled with energy and ambition. My colleagues and I were able to engage with Bermuda's next generation leaders. Mr. Speaker, I can say without reservation that Bermuda's future is bright and promising, as evidenced by the immense talent by which we were surrounded last Friday evening. It is amazing to see the variety of fields of studies and interests. They range from archaeology to nanomedicine and nanodiagnostics, from computer science to acting for stage and screen, architecture, law, politics and international relations, business, marketing, and management. Mr. Speaker, there's a strong camaraderie amongst Bermuda and the Caribbean overseas territories. It reflects the common acceptance that we must be custodians of our own future, working to the benefit of our own communities. The Assembly of Leaders at the JMC confirms that more unites us than divides us, and that the issues that confront us are shared and not unique. Mr. Speaker, this year's JMC was productive, and work has commenced in converting the undertakings given to real benefits for the people of Bermuda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Premier. I believe the second statement is also yours. Would you like to deliver that one now?
Sure, Mr. Speaker.
Right here.
Mr. Speaker, this statement is entitled Delivering on Our Commitments, Investing to Meet Bermuda's Needs. Mr. Speaker, earlier this morning, I tabled Supplementary Estimate Number 1 for fiscal year 2025-26 in this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, this government has remained steadfast in its approach. When we have the fiscal space to support Bermudians, we use it to improve lives, strengthen services, and build for the future. We have consistently reduced the tax burden for workers while increasing investments in social services, community infrastructure, public safety, education, and digital transformation. Because this government has successfully executed Bermuda's economic recovery plan while managing the public purse with care, and because our fiscal results continue to be better than projected, we are able once again to bring forward additional investments that will make a difference in the lives of Bermudians. Next week in this Honorable House, I will present to honorable members and the country our mid-year fiscal updates, which will form part of next week's debate. However, today I rise to outline the purpose of these additional investments and how they strengthen our ability to deliver on the commitments made to the people of Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, the package tabled earlier today totals $21.8 million and spans social support, safety and security, infrastructure, youth and education, community development, and the modernization of public services. Mr. Speaker, I will begin with the largest item in this supplementary estimate. This package provides $11 million to the Ministry of Health to support the recently negotiated salary agreement for the Bermuda Hospitals Board staff. This is the single largest investment in the supplementary estimate, and it reflects the critical importance of ensuring that the nurses, clinicians, technicians, support teams, and medical professionals who care for Bermuda's residents every day are supported and appropriately compensated. Mr. Speaker, this supplementary estimate also continues our commitment to supporting seniors, children, and vulnerable families. It includes additional funding for nursing homes and residential facilities, support for seniors and persons with disabilities, therapeutic services at the K. Margaret Carter Center, expanded youth programs, strengthened residential treatment services, and security upgrades within child and family services. It also provides $1 million to commence mental health treatment support for public officers on GEHI. Capital investments include security enhancements at residential facilities, modernization of the Brangman home, and upgrades to the Eastern Zone Community Center. Mr. Speaker, recent events underscore the importance of ensuring that Bermuda's safety and security agencies have the resources they require. This supplementary estimate provides $1 million to increase the number of police officers, strengthening frontline policing capacity. It also supports the acquisition of new police vehicles, maritime radar upgrades, and enhanced border control scanners. Additional support for the Department of Corrections includes funding for psychologists to improve rehabilitation services. Mr. Speaker, as we look towards the future, this government continues to make strategic investments in technology, digital government, and innovation. This supplementary estimate provides resources for digital transformation, cloud and mobile security enhancements, device replacement, and upgrades that strengthen security and resilience of government systems. It provides funding for Bermuda's digital finance initiatives, as well as support for digital finance pilot projects. In addition, we are investing in youth online safety education and advancing AI education initiatives to ensure that our children are prepared for a world increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence. This package also expands educational opportunity by providing additional scholarships and awards for Bermudian students, and includes additional funding for IT equipment to support modern learning environments, ensuring that all students have access to devices to assist in their learning. Mr. Speaker, we are also investing in the quality of public roads and community infrastructure. The supplementary estimate includes funding for an additional roadside landscaping crew to enhance maintenance of public parks and roadways, $500,000 in additional community club development grants to strengthen neighborhood institutions, a community solar pilot that advances our sustainability goals, and, Mr. Speaker, $2.4 million of additional affordable housing investments through the Bermuda Housing Corporation. This $2.4 million is in addition to the record amounts of funding invested in affordable housing over the past 3 years, which demonstrates the priority that this government ascribes to increasing the supply of affordable housing in Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, this package also supports our cultural and tourism sectors. It includes funding to enhance Bermuda's event portfolio and marketing efforts, helping to sustain year-round activity and supporting our broader tourism strategy in advance of next year's reopening of the Fairmont Southampton. Mr. Speaker, this supplementary estimate reflects what this government stands for. When the economy performs better than expected, when prudent management creates fiscal space, we do not hoard those gains. We invest them back into our people, our communities, our safety, our health system, and our future. Because of the successful execution of Bermuda's economic recovery plan and the choices this government made to ensure that our tax system was more fair, we delivered a budget surplus before a single dime of corporate income tax was collected. Mr. Speaker, that is the very reason we can now make the additional investments set out in this supplementary estimate. This package strengthens healthcare, enhances safety, supports seniors and vulnerable families, expands education, improves community infrastructure, advances digital government, and builds for the future. It continues a consistent record of delivery, a record that shows that this government does not shortchange Bermudians and remains focused on improving lives and expanding opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Premier. The next statement is in the name of the Deputy Premier. Would you like to do your statement now? Deputy?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to provide clarity for this honorable House and the people of Bermuda regarding media reporting surrounding the Battery Road project and to offer a broader update on the significant progress being made by this government's housing initiatives. This government continues to give the highest priority to the development of affordable housing for Bermudians. As promised in our platform and embedded in our throne speech initiatives, the expansion of Bermuda's housing supply is essential to our island's long-term social stability and future economic fortunes. As such, the government will work tirelessly to deliver for our people. Mr. Speaker, on Thursday, the 27th of November of this year, I had the pleasure of announcing the continued advancement at Battery Road, a project that forms part of this government's commitment to expanding high-quality, affordable housing for Bermudians. Unfortunately, the very next day, our daily newspaper, the Royal Gazette, and the editor, Mr. Dexter Smith, issued a very misleading headline regarding the Battery project. The Daily suggested that the apartments under construction were modular homes. Mr. Speaker, this information is incorrect, and it is important to set the record straight. Battery Road is being constructed using traditional Bermuda methods. The units at this site are permanent, long-term homes designed to provide secure, durable housing for Bermudian families. Phase 2 of the development will deliver 9,400 square feet of residential building consisting of 12 modern units, 6 studios, 4 two-bedroom apartments, and 2 one-bedroom apartments. With a construction value of $3.75 million, this represents a substantial investment in the revitalization of St. David's. I again acknowledge Ocean Interiors, the general contractor, for their continued work on this project. Phase 2 is scheduled for completion in August 2026. While I am unclear on how they could even arrive at printing such ambiguous information, I cannot help but think it was deliberate and with malign intent, because during the press conference, I never implied that these homes would be constructed with anything other than our traditional Bermuda building methods. Mr. Speaker, Battery Road is one project within a much larger program of construction and refurbishment now underway. Battery Road is not isolated development. It is, in fact, now our fifth major public housing construction project for which I have recently provided public updates, alongside the Bermudiana Beach Residences, Harmony Hall in Paget, Chelsea Apartments in St. George's, and the Middletown Apartments redevelopment in Pembroke. These initiatives are rooted in a long-term framework supported by the Bermuda Housing Corporation and aligned with the Affordable Housing Strategy for 2025-2035, which is currently being developed. Mr. Speaker, substantial work will continue under the Bermuda Housing Corporation's residential building program. I look forward to welcoming new tenants at Harmony Terrace North in Paget, Battery Road Phase 2 in St. David's, the Chelsea Apartments in St. George's, and the Middletown redevelopment in Pembroke in the coming months. Together, these developments will deliver more than 48 new affordable units by late 2026. Now, Mr. Speaker, I wish to directly address the distinction between traditional construction and modular housing, as this has been the source of recent confusion. Permanent developments such as Battery Road, Harmony Terrace in Paget, and Chelsea Apartments, Middletown, and other similar sites are all being built with traditional or hybrid construction systems designed for long-term occupation. Modular housing, on the other hand, will be used only in a highly targeted manner to address urgent and transitional housing needs. As part of the emergency modular housing program, which we are currently developing, the government will deploy a limited number of capsules and other types of modular units on suitable land owned by the Bermuda Housing Corporation and the Bermuda Land Management Company. These units are designed for short-term rentals, generally between 6 and 18 months, while Bermudians in crisis transition towards permanent housing solutions. These will meet Bermuda's building and safety standards and will be supported by wraparound services such as case management and social service referrals. Modular housing is therefore a bridge, one tool in a broader toolkit, and not a replacement for permanent developments like Battery Road. Mr. Speaker, the government's work in housing is accelerating. The draft affordable strategy for 2025-2035, now nearing completion, will establish Bermuda's long-term housing framework. This strategy will guide the delivery of a steady supply of new or rehabilitated homes over the next decade. It will look to include modernization of Bermuda's housing legislation, redevelopment of aging PHC and BOMC housing, expansion of modular and hybrid construction methods, improved pathways for seniors and persons with disabilities, increased supply of compact units, and new mechanisms to support families, young workers, and first-time renters. The strategy will also outline financing models, policy reforms, and partnerships needed to sustain long-term housing growth and improve affordability. A consultation draft will be presented to Cabinet shortly. This plan represents the next major chapter in transforming Bermuda's housing landscape. Mr. Speaker, I have stated in my previous housing ministerial statements, I assure the public that further updates will be brought to this honorable House as additional phases of our affordable housing program advance. These will include new fiscal year 2026-2027 development sites, expanded modular housing pilots, redevelopment of older BHC estates, increasing housing supply for seniors and vulnerable households, rental affordability initiatives, and strengthened pathways for young people and working families to seek stable, secure accommodation. Housing remains a central priority for this government. Across Bermuda, from St. George's to Sandy's, new homes are rising. Older units are being restored, and transitional supports are being strengthened to meet the needs of our people. Mr. Speaker, I wish to be absolutely clear. The permanent homes being built at Battery Road are not modular or container-based. They are built to last, to be occupied long-term and to offer secure and affordable housing to Bermudians in need. At the same time, the government is responsibly exploring modular and expandable container-based units for transitional housing purposes. These two strands of work serve different purposes, and it is essential that the public not confuse the two. For further information, members of the public are encouraged to contact the Bermuda Housing Corporation directly, where staff stand ready to assist with inquiries, applications, and details regarding current and upcoming programs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Minister, would you like to do your second statement now? I saw you sitting down. I was wondering if you were going to take a break in between.
I was looking for the
Well, while you're sorting yourself out, let me just make two acknowledgments while we're doing that. It's been brought to my attention that in the gallery we have visitors who are here this morning, and we have two visitors. We have Scott Crenfield, who is a golf pro instructor. He instructs the pros, from what I understand. He teaches the pros. So he's looking to do some things here in Bermuda pros. We wish him lots of success with that and great for that. And also we have Mr. Peter Parsat, who's visiting from Canada, and he's a friend of one of our members, and just acknowledge that he's here. And I believe he's celebrating the birthday while he's here. So enjoy your birthday in Bermuda. Thank you. Minister, continue on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise again today to update this honorable House on the continued progress of the Bermuda Housing Corporation's private sector refurbishment program, an important initiative within government's ongoing efforts to expand the supply of quality, affordable rental housing across our island. This program has been fully operational since April of this year and is part of our strategy to increase access to safe, stable housing while supporting Bermudian property owners. Beginning the 9th of December 2025, the public sector will also hear a new round of advertisements promoting the program and encouraging landlords with eligible properties to take advantage of the support available through the Bermuda Housing Corporation. Mr. Speaker, the private sector refurbishment program was developed to address a significant challenge in Bermuda's housing market. Across the island, many private rental units remain empty, not because there is no demand, but because the cost of necessary renovations places refurbishment out of reach for many homeowners. The refurbishment program bridges the gap by offering up to $125,000 of interest-free funding to refurbish units currently unfit for occupancy, allowing these homes to be restored and added to Bermuda's affordable rental inventory. This strengthens our neighborhoods, supports Bermudian homeowners, and provides urgently needed housing options for families on the BAC waiting list. Mr. Speaker, under the structure of the program, BAC manages the refurbishment work from start to finish to ensure that units meet modern, safe, and habitable standards. Eligible landlords receive interest-free funding, provided the property has no existing mortgage, and repayment is made from the rental income over a 5-year period. Once the loan is repaid, BAC continues to manage the unit for an additional 2 years, bringing the total management period to 7 years. Throughout this time, landlords benefit from guaranteed rental income, even when the unit is vacant, while BAC covers normal wear and tear and conducts routine inspections at 1 month, 6 months, and annually. Rental rates must remain within BAC's affordable ranges between $1,200 for a studio and $2,600 for a 3-bedroom unit. Property owners remain responsible for taxes, major maintenance, and landscaping. Mr. Speaker, interest in the program has been fairly good. To date, 56 landlords have registered interest. 35 have been assessed, and the remainder are being vetted. Of the 35 properties assessed, 13 were withdrawn due to extensive repairs being required. 2 were turnkey and moved directly into the regular private sector rental program. 13 are awaiting the completion of legal and ownership documentation. 4 units are currently under legal review, and 3 units have agreed contracts for construction to start work in early January. The breakdown of units which has been assessed are 12 one-bedrooms, 12 two-bedrooms, 4 three-bedrooms, and 1 4-bedroom. The bedroom configuration of the remaining 6 units is still to be determined. It is anticipated that the first refurbished units under this program will be ready for occupation by the second quarter of 2026, assuming that all legal processes proceed on schedule. This program, Mr. Speaker, is part of a broader suite of initiatives designed to increase affordable rental housing by leveraging both public resources and private sector participation. By focusing on privately owned units that already exist but are currently out of use, this program offers one of the quickest and most cost-effective pathways to expanding the housing supply. Every unit refurbished bought online represents a Bermudian housed family, a Bermudian family housed, and a Bermudian homeowner supported. Mr. Speaker, the new public awareness campaign will feature radio messaging, TV, digital advertising, and a targeted outreach to ensure that landlords understand how the program works and the benefits it offers. The goal is straightforward, Mr. Speaker, to encourage greater participation from property owners who may not have realized that BAC can assist them in bringing their units back to life safely, professionally, and affordable. Mr. Speaker, the private sector rental program is a practical, responsible, and people-focused initiative. It reflects this government's commitment to strengthening communities, improving housing conditions, and supporting Bermudians. I encourage any homeowner with an unoccupied or deteriorated unit to contact the Bermuda Housing Corporation directly. Applications must be completed on BAC website at www.bac.bm. For more information, email info@bac.bm or simply by calling 295-8623. This government will continue its work thoughtfully, steadily, and with the purpose until every Bermudian has access to a safe, stable, and affordable home. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister of National Security. Minister?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker,
Good morning.
colleagues, and listening public. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to inform this Honorable House and the people of Bermuda about the developments in our efforts to enhance our border protection, specifically at the Hamilton Docks. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to provide an update on the progress on our new Customs X-ray facility at the Hamilton Dock on Front Street. This location is where the vast majority of commodities, shipments, and containers flow into Bermuda. To begin with, I would like to address the current status of the new facility. At this time, all necessary site preparations have been completed, and our team stands ready to move forward as soon as the new custom-made building arrives in Bermuda. We are expecting the arrival of the actual building structure by the end of January 2026. Mr. Speaker, we expect the facility to be completed by the end of February 2026. Once the materials arrive, construction and outfitting will proceed immediately, and we anticipate that the building will take 3 to 4 weeks to complete. I would also like to highlight what this new building will enable Customs to achieve. Our core operational processes will remain the same, but the facility itself will provide a much safer, more efficient, and more functional environment for our officers. It will better accommodate our equipment, streamline our workflow, and enhance the overall effectiveness of our operations. Mr. Speaker, it is important to understand why this investment is necessary. The existing building has deteriorated significantly over time and no longer meets the standards required for safe and effective operations. A new structure is essential to ensure that our officers can continue to carry out their duties in a secure, functional, and properly equipped environment. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to speak briefly about the X-ray machine that will operate in conjunction with this facility. This technology plays a vital role in our national security framework. The X-ray machine assists customs officers in accurately targeting and examining goods and cargo. It enhances our ability to detect contraband, prohibited items, and potential threats, all while supporting the smooth flow of legitimate trade into Bermuda. Given the fact that this port is a significant gateway for goods entering Bermuda, it is critical that those responsible for preventing the entry of illegal goods and contraband into our country are performing their duties in a suitable and modern facility. We are pleased to note the progress being made to erect such a facility, and we are certain that doing so will solidify our operations at the docks. Mr. Speaker, in short, the new building, along with the enhanced technology that will be housed in it, represents an important and necessary step forward for customs. Our ability to protect our borders, safeguard our officers, and continue to uphold the highest standards of national security will be greatly improved. So in closing, Mr. Speaker, I invite the members of this Honorable House to join with me in commending the Collector of Customs and her diligent team for the execution of their duties at all of our ports. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister of Tourism and Tourism Transport, correct? Minister? Tourism, Transport, Culture, and Sport.
Thank you,
Get it
Mr.
right
Speaker.
I was trying to get the right order for you that time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to update this Honorable House and the people of Bermuda on an important milestone in our ongoing effort to modernize public services. On Monday, November 3rd, 2025, the Transport Control Department officially added the commercial vehicle permit, also known as truck permits, to its suite of growing digital applications. Mr. Speaker, this new online application is now the gateway for individuals or businesses who wish to obtain a permit to operate a commercial vehicle or convert a personal vehicle for commercial use. It even allows applicants to request authorization for a Sunday permit, something that previously required time, travel, and paperwork. Today, this is all at their fingertips. Mr. Speaker, as members will recall, in the 2024 throne speech, committed this government to digitizing TCD's outdated manual processes. The goal was simple: process tasks more quickly, reduce human error, and provide a smooth, modern experience for both the public and staff. Today, the commitment is not just talk, it is real, tangible progress. Mr. Speaker, since the launch of the online CVP on the 3rd of November 2025, and as of December 2nd, 2025, a total of 61 applicants have been received. Of these, 15 applications were submitted digitally, in comparison to 46 which were physically dropped off at TCD for manual processing. We encourage the public to make full use of the digital process, as it allows applications to be submitted more quickly, reduces the need for manual paperwork, and enables TCD staff to process requests more efficiently. By using the online system, customers can track their submissions, receive timely updates, and benefit from a smoother, more accessible service from start to finish. The process has been streamlined to remove steps that once served little purpose and created red tape. Applicants now receive clear timelines within the system, so they know exactly what to expect. No guesswork, No unnecessary back and forth. Mr. Speaker, as part of our ongoing commitment to strengthen public engagement and improve access to information, TCD has commenced the development of an official social media presence. The introduction of social media will also support the transition towards digital service delivery, including the CVP online application process. Through an increased digital presence, TCD will provide easily accessible resources such as self-help tutorials, step-by-step guidance for completing online applications, registration deadlines, and responses to frequently asked questions. This enhanced communication approach ensures that applicants and the broader public receive timely, accurate information, whilst also increasing transparency and improving the overall customer experience. It is anticipated that the initial phase of TCD's social media activation, along with supporting digital materials, will be accessible no later than the 22nd of December, 2025. Mr. Speaker, over a span of 7 months, this from the 31st of March this year to the 30th of October this year, 7 manual applications, inclusive of the CVP, have been transformed into digital applications. Ironically, it is said that the number 7 represents completeness, and it would have been great if TCD only had seen 7 manual applications. However, Mr. Speaker, this represents continuous progress in TCD's digitalization arena, and its demonstration of a significant shift towards reducing red tape and enhancing the efficiency of our services to the people of Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, it would be remiss of me not to mention in this honorable house the 6 other applications that are now live. The 3 applications that went live on March 31st included the exemption application, which is used to request an exemption from certain transport or licensing regulations due to special circumstances. The importation and replacement application, which enables persons to apply for permission to import or replace a vehicle under Bermuda's vehicle regulations or import a vehicle part. And the Project Ride Instructor application that can be completed for individuals wishing to apply for consideration to become an approved instructor. The remaining applications that went live on July 14th included a change of vehicle category for different use, which is used for persons to apply to change their vehicle's category, for example, from a commercial to personal use. Register a classic motor car that allows owners of vintage and historically significant vehicles to have a vehicle classified as a motor car, or persons can apply to import a classic motor car. And Sporting Association trailer permit, which is used to request permission to use trailers for transporting equipment or goods related to their sporting activities. Mr. Speaker, the transformational achievements to date could not have been accomplished without the collaborative efforts of staff within the Transport Control Department and the Digital Transformation Team under the remit of the Information and Digital Technologies Department. I extend my sincere appreciation to everyone who has been involved thus far with this initiative. In closing, Mr. Speaker, the public is advised to visit forms.gov.bm for additional information on all the digital applications at the appropriate time they are to utilize these online forms. In addition, persons are encouraged to complete the post-application survey so we can collect data to assist us in continuing to make more informed decisions on our transformational journey. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister for Cabinet Office. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Right ahead, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to table the Bermuda College Annual Report for the 2024-25 and audited financial statements for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2025, in accordance with Section 8.2 of the Bermuda College Act 1974. Under the Bermuda College Act 1974, one of the principal functions of the Board of Governors is to prepare the annual report and audited financial statements. The annual report for the 2024-25 outlines the college's achievements, progress, and priorities over the reporting period, while the audited financial statements provide an independent account of the college's financial positions and results for the year. Mr. Speaker, the 2024-2025 academic year marks a significant milestone as Bermuda College celebrated its 50th anniversary, a year characterized by purpose, transition, stabilization, and bold transformation. This year, the period saw the continuation of new leadership under the presidential search launched in December 2022 after the retirement of former president. Dr. David Sam assumed office in August 2024 and recently completed his first full year as president. Under Dr. Sam's leadership, the college has renewed its emphasis on innovation, access, and institutional excellence, guided by the newly developed 2025 to 2030 strategic plan. The strategic plan was developed collaboratively with faculty, staff, students, alumni, and external stakeholders. It positions Bermuda College to become more accessible, globally connected, technologically modernized, and responsive to the evolving needs of the labor market. With strengthened leadership, the college has focused on community partnerships, process modernization, and investment in institutional capacity to support long-term growth. The college recorded an enrollment of 565 students in 24-25, an increase from the previous year. This included 297 full-time and 268 part-time students. In 2024, the college conferred 90 graduate awards. During this reporting period, student satisfaction remained high. 88% expressed overall satisfaction with their academic program, 89% endorsed the quality of instruction, and 77% were satisfied with their overall experience. Additionally, 38% of graduates indicated their intention to pursue further studies overseas, with the United Kingdom being the most popular destination. In terms of student financial support, more than $579,000 was distributed across 510 awards, benefiting 309 students, including 40 identified as financially vulnerable. This critical support was also made possible through valued partnerships with the Ministry of Education, the Bermuda College Foundation, and generous private donors. The college is also exploring opportunities to expand the tuition-free College Promise program to include graduates from all schools, GED recipients, and individuals pursuing workforce pathways. Mr. Speaker, the Division of Nursing and Allied Health continued to play a vital role in strengthening Bermuda's healthcare workforce. With the support of the Bermuda College Foundation, the division acquired advanced high-fidelity stimulators from LEADAR Medical. Nursing students also gained valuable hands-on experience through health screenings with the Department of Health, a glaucoma screening at the Leahy Diabetics Health Fair, and coordination of the Pediatric Health Fair sponsored by the Mid-Atlantic Wellness Institute. The college expanded its academic pathways and career opportunities, including a new agreement with Kentucky State University that enables Bermuda College nursing students to transfer directly into the third year of KSU's Bachelor of Science in Nursing program. The signing of its 40th articulation agreement with Keene University that has established 2+2 pathways in STEM and access to graduate programs in educational leadership and policy. The Athora Division of PACE, serving more than 700 learners with strong demand for new programs in artificial intelligence and healthcare. Over 80 participants completed the new AI program. Strengthened intern pipelines with partners such as the Technology Leadership Forum, One Communications, and the Economic Development Department. Mr. Speaker, the college has made significant investments in campus life and digital infrastructure. Student spaces on both floors of Hallett Hall were redesigned to provide modern social and study environments. The library launched the Idea Lab, a dedicated makerspace for students, which contributed to a 114% increase in information and digital literacy instruction. Technological advancements included updates to the Anthology software system, financial systems, cybersecurity infrastructure, systems monitoring, and website have improved reliability, stability, and user experience across the institution. Mr. Speaker, I now turn to the audited financial statements of the Bermuda College for the fiscal year ending March 31, 2025. The 24-25 audited statements were unqualified. Therefore, in the opinion of the Auditor General, the financial statements present fairly in all material aspects the financial position of the Bermuda College and its financial operations, in accordance with recognized public sector accounting standards for government nonprofit organizations applied in Bermuda and Canada. The 2025 financial statements report total assets of $21,852,329, total liabilities of $18,453,043, and no long-term debt. The cash equivalents decreased by 15% to $2,319,643, primarily due to capital investments and reductions in the amount due to creditors and accrued expenses. Revenue and expenses for the period show the following. Revenue from student fees decreased by 1.2% to $2,542,094. The government grant increased by 0.13% to $14,628,329. Total revenue increased by 0.22% to $20,089,574. Total expenses increased by 5.72% to $21,674,830, and the college reported a net deficit of $1,585,256. I'm pleased to report, Mr. Speaker, that through collaborative efforts of Bermuda College and the Office of the Auditor General, the college remains fully current with its annual audits. Mr. Speaker, Bermuda College continues to demonstrate resilience, innovation, and a deep commitment to serving the people of Bermuda with strengthened leadership, expanded academic pathways, modernized infrastructure, and robust community partnerships. The college is well positioned to advance its mission of transforming lives and strengthening our workforce. I commend the Board of Governors, President, Dr. Sam, facility staff, students, and all partners whose dedication continues to elevate Bermuda's only tertiary institution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, and fellow Bermudians. I rise today in recognition of the United Nations International Day of Persons with Disabilities, observed annually on December 3rd. This day serves as an important reminder of our collective responsibility to promote and protect the rights, dignity, and full inclusion of persons with disabilities across our society. This year's international theme, Building a Sustainable and Resilient Future for All, Advancing Disability Rights Through Inclusive Development, aligns closely with the Government of Bermuda's ongoing work to strengthen accessibility, equality, and meaningful participation for all residents. Mr. Speaker, persons with disabilities continue to face barriers that are not a reflection of their abilities, but of the systems, environments, and attitudes that surround them. Accessibility is not merely about infrastructure, it is about ensuring equitable access to education, employment, healthcare, justice, transportation, and civic participation. As a government, we are committed to advancing reforms that address these realities. This includes improving data collection, supporting policy and legislative development, encouraging cross-ministry collaboration, and increasing public awareness. These steps are essential to creating a Bermuda where every person, regardless of ability, can live independently, participate fully, and reach their highest potential. Mr. Speaker, our commitment aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which call for inclusive societies, reduced inequalities, and opportunities for all. Bermuda embraces these principles, recognizes that our strength as a community depends on ensuring that no one is left behind. Today, I acknowledge the advocacy, resilience, and contributions of persons with disabilities and the many organizations, caregivers, and families who support them. Their voice continues to guide our efforts and remind us that inclusion is not optional. It is a moral obligation and a human right. Mr. Speaker, as we mark this important day, I encourage all residents, employers, schools, and community partners to join us in fostering greater accessibility, challenging stigma, and build a Bermuda that is welcoming and inclusive for everyone. Mr. Speaker, together with the Human Rights Commission, Aging and Disability Services, will be hosting a public movie screening at the Bermuda College on the 14th of December. The featured film, Crimp Camp, uses humor, heart, and rich footage to tell the story of a groundbreaking summer camp whose attendees helped spark the disability rights movement in the United States. The film honors activism, community, and the ongoing pursuit of disability inclusion. Crip Camp was also directed and co-produced by Nicole Newham, Jim Brichette, with executive producers Barack and Michelle Obama. The film was motivated by Le Brichette's personal experience as a disabled teenager at Camp Jenid, which profoundly shaped his life and inspired the disability rights movement. Jim Le Brichette, who was born with spina bifida, attended Camp Jenid in the 1970s. This summer camp for teens with disabilities gave him a sense of freedom, community, and empowerment. His personal experiences there inspired the film, which shows how the camp helped spark the disability rights movement. Mr. Speaker, the documentary has been praised for its powerful storytelling and historical importance. It won the Audience Award at Sundance in 2020. Critics note that it motivates viewers to think about activism, inclusion, and civil rights. Reviews highlight that it's not just inspirational, but a reminder of how grassroots movements can change society. Mr. Speaker, in the new year, the Human Rights Commission will host a lunch and learn session focused on the important subject of reasonable accommodation. Aging and Disability Services has been invited to contribute to this presentation, sharing valuable insight into the types of reasonable accommodation available in Bermuda. These include adaptive equipment, assistive supports, and existing services that promote accessibility and ensure meaningful participation for persons with disabilities across our community. Bermuda's Human Rights Act 1981 requires employers and service providers to make reasonable accommodation for persons with disabilities, meaning steps must be taken to remove barriers and ensure equal access. The standard is based on international best practices, such as those outlined in the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and emphasizes individual adjustments rather than one-size-fits-all solutions. The upcoming Lunch and Learn will highlight these methods, showing how they not only meet legal obligations, but also strengthen inclusion and community engagement, giving participants practical strategies they can apply. Mr. Speaker, as part of strengthening collaboration and public education, Aging and Disability Services and the Human Rights Commission are exploring the development of quarterly joint events aimed at raising awareness, promoting inclusion, and supporting greater understanding of disability rights and responsibilities across the community. These activities reinforce the government's commitment to fostering accessibility, challenging stigma, and building a Bermuda that is inclusive and equitable for all persons with disabilities. Mr. Speaker, Human Rights Day is celebrated annually worldwide on December 10th to commemorate the anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was adopted 77 years ago by the United Nations General Assembly. Each year, Human Rights Day has a theme, and this year's theme is Human Rights Are Everyday Essentials, which aims to highlight how human rights are fundamental, positive, and attainable through daily choices and actions, which influence aspects of life from safety and happiness of individuals to equality and justice for all, as set out in our Human Rights Act of 1998. Mr. Speaker, I emphasize key messages to put this year's theme in perspective to show how human rights are a constant and essential part of our daily lives rather than an abstract concept. 1, Mr. Speaker, everyone has the right to live and be protected from harm. 2, everyone is equal and should never be treated unfairly because of who they are. 3, everyone has freedom of speech, beliefs, movement, and privacy. 4, everyone deserves justice, due process, and protection from abuse. 5, everyone must have access to education, healthcare, work, and a decent standard of living. Mr. Speaker, in the words of Nelson Mandela, to deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. And I challenge members of our community to expand their knowledge of human rights by contacting the Human Rights Commission for information on human rights. I encourage members of our community to take this knowledge and put it into action by making better decisions, such as showing others respect despite their differences. The government alone cannot ensure human rights are attainable unless we work collectively by committing to making better daily choices and actions towards each other. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I would like to take this opportunity in advance to wish all a happy Human Rights Day 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister of Economy and Labor. Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to share the findings of the November 2024 Labor Force Survey report, which provide encouraging evidence of a continued strengthening of Bermuda's labor market. The unemployment rate was measured at 1.4%, below the 2.8% recorded in November 2023. This reduction reflects our ongoing efforts to support job growth, expand opportunities for Bermudians, and foster inclusive economic growth. Mr. Speaker, the unemployment rate for Bermudians stood at 1.3%, a decrease from the 3.3% rate reported in November 2023. Youth unemployment, 16 to 24, declined to 3.4% from the 13.5% recorded in November 2023. This reinforces the government's ongoing commitment to prioritizing Bermudians in employment and ensuring they have meaningful, stable careers. Mr. Speaker, other relevant findings from the November 2024 survey include the following. The employment rate increased to 82.8%. The median gross annual income from a person's main job increased to $75,718. This figure provides important insights into earnings across the economy. The labor force participation rate was 84.1%. This level of participation demonstrates the continued willingness and capability of our people to contribute to Bermuda's economic growth. The average hours worked per week in the main job was 40.9, signaling stable levels of labor utilization, and among the economically inactive population, 65.4% were retired and 20.7% were full-time students. Notably, there was growth in the Bermudian working population and growth in the Bermudian median gross annual income. Mr. Speaker, taken together, these results show a labor market that is stable, improving, and reflective of the government's commitment to supporting Bermudian workers and strengthening our economy. While we acknowledge areas where further progress is needed, particularly in addressing underemployment and ensuring continued wage growth, these findings are a positive indication of our collective recovery and advancement. The government will continue to build on these gains through targeted policies, ongoing workforce development, and meaningful partnerships with the private sector and community stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, the November 2024 Labor Force Survey report is available online at gov.bm/employment statistics. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister of Health. Minister?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Morning.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I rise to reaffirm the government's commitment to strengthening Bermuda's healthcare system and accelerating our progress towards the implementation of universal health coverage. These enhancements represent phase 1 of our UHC rollout, forming the foundation upon which the next phases of reform will be built. As we continue this work, I wish to advise the public that additional details on the coming stages of UHC development will be shared in the months ahead. Mr. Speaker, it gives me great pleasure to announce that beginning in January 2026, HIP and Future Care policyholders will benefit from significant packages of enhanced coverage, including the following. 1, one free annual health exam, 2, expanded prescription drug coverage, and 3, removal of the 12-month waiting period for the personal home care benefit. These reforms directly advance our national goal of achieving equitable, affordable, and accessible care for all. Mr. Speaker, the introduction of one free annual health care visit for all HIP and Future Care policyholders marks a transformational advancement in preventative care. These physical examinations, reimbursed at 100% to the providers and at no cost to patients, are expected to range between $250 and $350, depending on the patient complexity. This investment is not merely a new benefit, it is the cornerstone of UHC. The benefits of annual health exams expand access to routine and preventative care, reduce disparities in health outcomes, support early detection of disease, and improve the management of chronic conditions. Common conditions such as hypertension and diabetes, which affect many in Bermuda, can be effectively managed through primary care. Early intervention reduces complications and lowers long-term system costs by preventing avoidable emergency visits and hospitalizations. Mr. Speaker, this shift from treating crises to preventing them will help reduce the persistent pressure on the emergency department and move us closer to a sustainable, patient-centered model of care. Mr. Speaker, I'm equally proud to announce sustained and substantial increases to prescription drug coverage, another pivotal, critical pillar of UHC. HIP coverage will increase from $1,000 to $3,000 annually. Future Care coverage will increase from $3,000 to $5,000 annually. This enhancement directly addresses rising medication costs and ensures that Bermudians are not forced to choose between financial security and the medications they need. Access to prescribed medication is central to chronic disease management. When people can afford their prescriptions, they are far more likely to adhere to treatment regimes, leading to better health, fewer complications, and reduced need for costly hospital care. By eliminating financial barriers to essential medicines, we are strengthening health outcomes and protecting our health system from avoidable strain. Mr. Speaker, more good news. Effective January 26, HIP and Future Care policies will gain immediate access to the personal home care benefit, with the 12-month waiting period heretofore being removed entirely. The PHC benefit, which is capped at $60,000 per year based on medical assessments, enables seniors and individuals with chronic conditions to receive in-home care services and adult daycare support. This improvement supports aging in place. It relieves hospital congestion by enabling timely discharge for medically fit patients and provides care that is both more cost-effective and more compassionate than institutional alternatives. Mr. Speaker, to support the dedicated caregiver workforce that enables the home-based care, the hourly reimbursement rate will increase from $15 to $17.13, reducing the out-of-pocket cost and expenses for HIP and Future Care participants and their families, as the employer of the caregiver have had to cover to ensure, in order to ensure compliance with the minimum wage legislation, which is promoting a workforce stability. Collective impacts, progress towards universal health coverage. Mr. Speaker, collectively, these enhancements represent a substantial and meaningful advancement towards universal health coverage. They expand existing benefits in ways that prioritize prevention over crisis care, reduce financial barriers, strengthen primary and community care, promote medication adherence, and support home-based services. These reforms help ensure that the people of Bermuda can receive timely, high-quality care when and where they need it without the fear of financial distress. This is how we build a fairer, stronger, and more resilient health system for future generations. With respect to financial sustainability and strategic vision, Mr. Speaker, by increasing and investing in primary care, medication access, and home-based services, we are improving health outcomes while mitigating financial pressures that threaten the sustainability of Bermuda's health system. These measures are not isolated actions. They form part of health system strengthening to stabilize costs, improve access, and strengthen the health system's resilience in the face of demographic and economic challenges. Mr. Speaker, let me assure our community that the government of Bermuda remains firmly committed to building a health system that works for everyone, a system rooted in prevention, equity, and financial protection, a system that advances universal health coverage, and a system that guarantees that every person in Bermuda can access the care they need without falling into financial hardship. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of Minister of Works. Minister?
And environment, Mr. Speaker.
And All right.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
And good morning to the listening audience. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to speak about an issue that has been steadily increasing across Bermuda: the fast-growing and uncontrolled feral chicken population. What may once have been seen as a small inconvenience has become a serious concern for our farmers, our environment, our neighborhoods, and even our public health. Mr. Speaker, while often unacknowledged by the general population, feral chickens are an invasive species with almost no natural predators in Bermuda. This allows their numbers to multiply quickly, and the impact is substantial. Our farmers continue to experience major crop losses, driving up production costs and contributing to higher food prices. This threatens the long-term stability of our local food supply. Beyond the agricultural impact, these birds often disturb public areas, scatter garbage, disrupt outdoor dining, and cause hygiene issues for residents and visitors. Mr. Speaker, this issue becomes even more concerning in light of the continued global circulation of highly pathogenic avian influenza, often referred to as bird flu. While the risk to the public in Bermuda remains low, a large unmanaged feral chicken population could act as a reservoir. Therefore, it's essential that Bermuda remains watchful, prepared, and proactive. At present, Mr. Speaker, officers within the Department of Environment and Natural Resources manage invasive bird control, including feral chickens. Using traps, sedative baits, and controlled air rifle operations, they remove more than 1,300 feral chickens each month. This work is commendable, but the scale of the issue exceeds what the team can manage. For this reason, I am outlining several new actions to strengthen our response. The first is the introduction of a new reporting and response app. I am proud to say that the Department of Environment and Natural Resources has created an internal app to monitor invasive bird sightings and track control efforts. After successful testing, this tool will soon be made available to the public. Residents will be able to report feral chicken activity directly, allowing DENR to focus resources where they are most needed. The app provides accurate geographic information for staff response while maintaining user privacy. The second is expanding operational capacity. To increase our reach and improve response times, the Ministry of Public Works and Environment is hiring 2 additional contractors who will be fully trained and licensed under the Protection of Birds Amendment Act 2015. Their addition will enhance trapping and sedative bait operations, almost doubling the capacity for the removal of feral chickens. The third is a Board of Agriculture pilot program. Based on the recommendation of the Board of Agriculture, the government will begin a pilot program allowing selected registered farmers to address feral chickens on their own properties. Farmers will receive full training and use approved traps and sedative baits under strict safety protocols to avoid harm to pets and prevent accidental captures. All birds collected will be humanely euthanized. The results of this program will guide future policy and may allow expansion to all trained registered farmers. And the fourth is public access to feral chicken traps. To support community involvement, Denner has purchased 100 feral chicken traps, which are now available at the Agriculture Service Center for $100 each. Each trap will include detailed instructions to ensure compliance with the Care and Protection of Animals Act 1975. The new reporting app will also allow residents to notify Denner when a trap has captured birds so teams can respond quickly. I want to reassure the public that once chickens are trapped, residents are not required to take any further action. You are not expected to handle or euthanize the birds. Simply notify Denner through the app or by phone, and trained officers will retrieve and address the animals. Mr. Speaker, these initiatives reflect the government's commitment to reducing the thousands of feral chickens across the island. However, success requires the cooperation of the public. As we put this feral chicken management strategy into action, we ask residents to follow these guidelines. Do not feed feral chickens or pigeons. Do not tamper with traps placed by Denner or trained individuals. Do not abandon or relocate unwanted chickens. Contact Denner for assistance. To keep backyard poultry secure and away from wild birds, report large populations through Denner's online system or the new app. And finally, dispose of food waste properly in Tampa residents' bags and containers. Mr. Speaker, with government, farmers, and the public working together, we can turn what has become an environmental and agricultural challenge into a model of coordinated, responsible action. This is not simply about removing nuisance animals. It is about protecting our food security, our neighborhoods, and our public health. Mr. Speaker, this government will continue to act decisively, and with the support of the public, we will bring this growing problem under control. Together, we can ensure a cleaner, safer, and more suitable Bermuda for all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Members, I believe the next statement is in the name of the same minister. Minister, would you like to continue on your second statement?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to update this honorable House and the people of Bermuda on the progress this government is making to restore, strengthen, and modernize Bermuda's roads. Mr. Speaker, the condition of our roads has become one of the most talked about issues throughout our island. Our people have been clear that they want action, not excuses, and this government is delivering just that. While others offer commentary from the sidelines, this administration is pouring asphalt, rebuilding foundations, and progressing forward with the most consistent road repaving effort Bermuda has seen in years. Mr. Speaker, over the past 12 months alone, our teams have been working hard. We began in the West End, completing long overdue retaining wall repairs along Somerset Road and fully resurfacing both lanes from Scour Hill to Georges Bay. Representing the first time in decades, residents have seen this level of investment along that corridor. Immediately after, we advanced along Middle Road in Southampton, resurfacing the section from Georges Bay to Evans Bay. For thousands of daily commuters, the difference was immediate and noticeable. Mr. Speaker, after reaching Evans Bay, our teams then crossed the island to the east, repaving Mullet Bay from York Street right through to Ferry Reach Road, finishing just in time for Cup Match and easing congestion during one of the busiest periods of the year. From there, we continued major works on Middle Road in Smiths and on North Shore, repaving from Bethel Church through Flats Village towards Jennings Road. It should be noted that along the way, the team encountered minor issues at several locations requiring temporary skips. But rather than slowing down, we pushed forward, addressing the issues while continuing to pave. That is the hallmark of a ministry focused on delivery and not delay. These are not isolated road patches, Mr. Speaker. These are connected corridors of safer, smoother, and more reliable infrastructure that Bermudians can rely upon every single day. Mr. Speaker, as our major paving works progressed, this government also advanced a series of critical road safety upgrades because we recognize that smoother roads mean little if they are not safe. This year, we installed new traffic beacons at pedestrian crossings, including Mullet Bay, Point Finger Road, and Somerset Village. We also installed new speed bumps in several communities, including Spice Hill, Brighton Hill, and Parsons Road. In the weeks to come, we will be introducing similar traffic calming measures along Church Road in Southampton, which I know the Minister of Education has been advocating on for years, and Old Military Road in St. George's. These locations were not only highlighted by residents, but were also validated through technical reviews carried out by our road safety team, which confirmed visibility challenges, pedestrian risks, and traffic flow concerns. Mr. Speaker, these are areas where our children walk, where seniors cross, and where families have long expressed legitimate concerns. Residents have shared their gratitude because they feel both heard and better protected. Mr. Speaker, it is also not lost on me the raised concerns residents have had regarding the faint and sometimes non-existing center line. Our team has received the necessary parts for our existing center line machine and will begin the work shortly, while at the same time, we are preparing to order a brand new marking machine for the future. Mr. Speaker, as we close out the year, I feel it is important to emphasize that our ministry is preparing for an aggressive start in 2026. This week, we conducted essential maintenance on all asphalt equipment while providing essential equipment training with our partners at Aztec. Next week, we expect to complete the final stretch of paving on the western end of North Shore Road, which will be our last major paving operation for the year. Over the holiday period, our remaining team will be prioritizing our pothole response. Mr. Speaker, the first quarter of 2026 will be one of the most productive in recent memory. We will recommence our paving efforts in early January with a critical section of North Shore Road near the aquarium and complete the areas that were skipped in Smiths, including Middle Road near the Somersville Wall at Store Hill. Mr. Speaker, then in late February and into the spring, we will shift to Southampton, paving along Middle Road from Lighthouse Road in Southampton, heading east to Longford Road in Warwick. Heading east to Longford Road in Warwick. Following that, we will begin long-awaited works on Spanish Point Road and Palmetto Road, two of the most requested improvements in the country. Mr. Speaker, to accelerate our progress in 2026, we are engaging the private sector in the first quarter to pave Orange Valley Road in Devonshire. This partnership approach allows us to stretch taxpayer dollars further and maintain continuity of work across multiple sites. Mr. Speaker, the work ahead is substantial, but this government is committed, focused, and delivering results the public can see and feel. Bermudians asked for safer roads, smoother corridors, better visibility, and real investment in infrastructure, and this government is responding. The work will continue. There is no magic wand that will fix our roads tomorrow, but we will remain steady and accelerate our efforts in 2026 as it reflects our determination to build a stronger, safer, more resilient Bermuda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, that brings us to a close of the statements for this morning. So we'll now move on to the next item on the order paper, which is reports of committees. And we have one report this morning is going to be tabled by the committee chairperson for the public accounts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hereby table a report on the Parliamentary Standing Committee on the Public Accounts for the perusal of this honorable House, along with the committee's members manual. We have met 8 times this year. We have a lot of work on. I would like to thank the committee members and the staff for their hard work. I'd also like to thank the previous committee for the hard work that they did on the members manual, which we have carried on and completed and supplied for the information of this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair of the Public Accounts Committee, MP DeCoop. Thank you for that. Now, members, we now go to the question and answer period. And this morning, before we do the questions from the written statements that were given today, we also have questions that were submitted in writing from members to ministers to be answered today. The first of those questions this morning is a written question to be answered orally that's been presented to the Premier, Minister of Finance, on behalf of the Shadow Minister of Finance, MP DeCoop. Would you like to put your question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Honorable Premier and Minister of Finance please inform this Honorable House whether he receives any benefits as Premier outside his parliamentary salary, health insurance, and pension benefits? And if so, what is the form and monetary value of such benefits for each of the calendar years 23, 24, and 25 to date? Thank you.
Premier.
Speaker, I'm actually surprised that this question was allowed, as it does not deal with anything with the official cognizance of the minister responsible in anything dealing with government business. Nonetheless, the answer is none.
Any supplementary questions?
No, we are grateful for the answer. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. The next question this morning is a written question similar from the same member to the Premier, and it being as written, there's no response given here other than have you received a written answer?
Yes, I have. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The next question, again, is from the same member, MP DeCoop, to the Minister of Health, and this is a oral response. Minister?
Yes. Will the Honorable Minister please inform this Honorable House whether any additional government financial grant or assistance to the Bermuda Hospitals Board may be needed to support the recent pay rise agreement between the BPSU and the BHB? I only note this question was submitted prior to the tabling of the supplementals. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Notwithstanding the supplemental that was tabled this morning, I still crave leave pursuant to Section 18(4) to defer the answering of this question so that I could provide a comprehensive answer to the members of this House.
Okay. You're good with the response that the minister is trying to produce a more comprehensive response to you, and she's asked for that be deferred until later.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. We will be grateful for that response.
No problem. The next question is also in your name. It's to the Minister for the Cabinet Office, and requires a oral response. So would you like to put the question?
Mr. Speaker, we did send notice that those questions were going to be deferred to next week.
Yes, you did. I think you're similarly trying to compile all the information. Yes. I think as the member just reminded me, they did ask for it to be deferred because the information needs to be fully comply. Boy, it's trying to compile the relevant information, so it's carried until further date. Okay, that moves us on. Thank you. The next question is also to the Minister of Cabinet. They are 3 questions from MP Van Smith, and all in writing for a written response, rather. Have you received your written responses?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you. And the final set of questions this morning is to the Minister of Youth, Social Development, Seniors, and that's from MP Tucker. Again, they will require written response. Have you received your written responses?
Yes, I have, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Good. Numbers, that takes care of the written questions. Now we can go to the statements from today. And there are quite a few questions from the many statements that were given this morning. The first statement, Premier, in reference to your recent GMC meetings, we have questions from the opposition leader first and other members. The opposition leader, would you like to put your question?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, members of this honorable House and the listening public. Minister of Finance and Premier, what issues have been specifically raised by Bermuda at the JMC to ensure that the interests are protected with dealings with the UK government?
I'm really not certain I understand the question. If the member wants to rephrase, I'm just not getting it.
Can you be more specific as to what you, in your question?
Absolutely, sir.
Sure.
What I'm requesting is what specific issues were raised at the JMC by the Premier? Yeah, simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you. Premier?
Mr. Speaker, the Joint Ministerial Council meeting comprises of 13 inhabited overseas territories plus the sovereign base area, ranging from countries such as the Cayman Islands and Bermuda with advanced economies and advanced GDPs and international business as small as the Pitcairn Islands and the sovereign base areas, Ascension Island, and other types of things. The issues that are raised are decided jointly by preparatory meetings, and I'm happy to share the information from the United Kingdom Overseas Territories Association with the honorable member. The reality is that Bermuda did not raise any particular issues in JMC because Bermuda, as they say in overseas territories parlance, there is the crown dependencies, there's the overseas territories, and then there is Bermuda. Bermuda has a high degree of self-government, and the only matters that were raised were the issues that I stated inside of our bilateral meeting with the particular minister responsible, which were covered inside of my statement.
Supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Second question, sorry.
Second question, okay.
How will the UK export finance and British expertise support Bermuda's priority economic projects?
Premier?
I think there's been information on this in the public domain that the UK export finance team came. This was a matter that was raised in last year's JMC by other overseas territories. Those matters were extended. Bermuda, of course, does not have the same financial requirements as other overseas territories does. Nonetheless, we've been extended a line of credit of up to $1 billion of any export finance matters. Those things have been, there's been numerous discussions with a number of ministers, whether it's the Minister of Housing, the Minister of Public Works, and others. Also, Minister responsible for transport, different discussions with business as the United Kingdom government is looking to expand their trade relationships as they're looking to seek economic growth as they try to chart a course towards a balanced budget. But what I would say is UK export finance is there. They're an option, but there's many other export finance matters from other countries that have also made themselves available to Bermuda. But the reality is that Bermuda has different financial requirements than other jurisdictions. And we are not in as much need as financing, but if there are projects that can be supported by British industries or with both the private sector and the public sector, ministers are engaged on those matters, and we'll see if anything comes to fruition.
Supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What mechanisms will government use to ensure UK agencies deliver real benefits for Bermuda?
Was it supplementary or third question?
Third question, sorry.
Okay.
Third question, thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the government of Bermuda does not seek much from the United Kingdom outside of them doing what is required for them to do underneath the Constitution. And I will remind the honorable member, in case he's unaware, that the United Kingdom is responsible for external affairs, defense, including the armed forces, internal security, and the police. We do not ask for anything from the United Kingdom outside of what their job is to do underneath our current constitutional setup.
Supplementary? Okay. Premier, for that statement, MP Fay would like to ask questions as well.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Morning.
Would the Honorable Premier please share with this House further details of what was shared with the Minister of State in regards to the considerable work done which was in his statement on the report promised on constitutional reform, a report that we are still waiting on. Thank you.
Premier?
Mr. Speaker, when that matter is ready to be shared in the public, it will be able to be done so. But I think it's important to note that the considerable work has taken in line with a number of various consultations, including the leader of the opposition, who was consulting this. Not sure if it was this one or the one prior, but including the leader of the opposition on this particular matter is being run by a public officer in line with the requirements from the United Kingdom. There's been engagement with civil society and other particular persons. And when that report is ready, I'm certain that we will table it in this House for discussion.
Supplementary?
Thank you. Supplementary.
Supplementary, okay.
Can the Premier please advise when it is expected that the report will be published and tabled in the House?
You might even get it next week, but I will go back to my colleagues and advise. It is something that went to cabinet recently, something that's been shared with the caucus recently, and certainly something that can be shared wider. But I will go back and seek the advice, whether it's this time or in February.
Supplementary.
Second sub, yes.
Can the Premier confirm that he will table the report in the House?
I will not confirm that, but I will confirm that the report will be shared.
New question? Second question?
Second question. Thank you. Did the Minister of State share any thoughts on the UK expectations on the meaning of the democratic will of the people in making changes to Bermuda's constitution?
All those particular matters are spelled out inside the paper, and the United Kingdom government's position is clear. But I think the honorable member is trying to go somewhere where he doesn't need to go, as the only changes that the government is requesting are the changes that were spelled out inside of the throne speech, which are very clear and have been previously canvassed in this House and in other places. And the honorable member, who used to have responsibility for you used to have responsibility for immigration. We remember what that was like, but we do remember and accept that he held the exact same position that the government of Bermuda held in regards to matters related to belongers. And I sincerely hope that the opposition will also maintain the position of which they held while they're in government and support the current government in the changing of the matters related to belongers, so that we can retain the right to decide who are the persons who should live in this country long term and not the United Kingdom government.
Supplementary?
Supplementary. So the Premier's answer is, I believe, he cannot tell us what the meaning of the democratic will of the people is in making changes to Bermuda's constitution. That was the question.
You got to put your question back.
Thank you. No, I asked again, and I'll make that very clear. Did the Minister of State share any thoughts on UK expectations on the meaning of the democratic will of the people in making changes in Bermuda's constitution, which was in the Premier's statement?
No.
Third question or second sub?
Third question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Were there any discussions with the Minister of State on the issue of independence or full membership of CARICOM? And if so, perhaps the Premier would share with this honorable House what was discussed.
Premier?
On sovereignty, no. On full membership of CARICOM, yes. And the fact is that we're waiting for the United Kingdom's response on matters related to CARICOM, which I think are matters which are in the public domain already.
Okay. Supplementary.
Thank you. Supplementary. So the Premier is confirming that everything that was spoke about with the Minister of State in relation to CARICOM is already in the public domain. Is that correct?
I'm not going to get trapped in a legal answer. I've gave my statement and my answer, and that's the answer that I will hold to.
Second sub?
Mr. Speaker, it's a very simple question. Yes or no? It's a simple question. It's a simple question. It's a simple question. Did the Minister of State have any discussions with the Premier on CARICOM matters that are not already in the public domain?
As I am not the minister responsible for CARICOM, I'm not certain what matters of the public domain. I've answered the question in regards to what happened with the matters related to CARICOM. And I've shared with the honorable member, and I will repeat my answer again. The discussions were that we are awaiting a response from the United Kingdom on matters which have been raised. That is it.
Okay. Okay. Premier, that's the end of questions to you for that statement. For your second statement, the MP DeCoute, you have questions for the Premier.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Premier's statement referred to better than projected finances and fiscal space, and he delivered the supplementary estimates with around $22 million of additional unbudgeted spending. Given that the budget had around $43,000 of surplus, Okay, 43 million surplus. Can the Premier outline for us? No, thank you. Well, there's always that, inclusive of the corporate income tax. Could the Premier outline for this House the sources, the specific sources of this, as you called for, fiscal space? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I refer the honorable member to my statement, which says that next week in this honorable House will present to honorable members in the country our mid-year fiscal update.
Supplementary or new question?
I guess the answer is no. Check back later, but new question.
Do you want to do a supplementary or new question? New
question. I suspect I know what the answer is going to be, which is going to be checked back next week, Mr. Speaker. But given all of this additional spending in the supplementals, should we expect to see that as additional current spending in next year's budget? Thanks.
Mr. Speaker, as we have always given in our mini reviews, it has been the habit that we do not do these things on one time. If there's things that are one-time expenses, and yes, if there are things that are ongoing expenses, such as commitments to the police, such as commitments to roadworks and other things which involve the hiring of staff and retaining, of course, those things will carry over to next budget. But I honestly want to ask the honorable member to wait for a debate that will happen next week on the supplemental, and I did tell the minister that I will be presenting to honorable members of the country our mid-year fiscal update, which will form part of next week's debate, so we can actually debate these matters. But he's welcome to continue asking questions. I will defer anything on budget specifics until next week.
Supplementary or further questions? Next week. Okay. Okay. Premier, that's the end of questions for your statements this morning. Deputy Premier, you have questions for both your statements, but for the first statement, the MP Fay would like to put questions to you.
I think it's a joke. It's not a joke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Too tall, yeah. The minister advised, Mr. Speaker, that phase 2 of the Battery Road development is over 9,000 square feet for 12 units. Could the minister break that down in terms of the square footage per unit for this honorable House?
Minister?
Be happy to, Mr. Speaker, be happy to.
Supplementary? Minister, I think he was expecting you to do the maths now. But
well,
if you want to defer and forward it to him later, we would accept you do it later.
Mr. Speaker, does he want to know how many nails we're going to use as well?
Right? Come on.
I think the challenge of that is to expect the minister to be able to give the mathematics quickly off his feet. He gave a report and gave a general, but it didn't provide the breakdown. So that's nothing. That is an item he'll basically carry in his pocket. So I would want to think of any future questions like that would ask you if you can get the answer at a further in a future period rather than right now.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm sure the minister will happily provide it in any event. There's no tricks. I think the people of Bermuda wish to know what those square footages is, but that's fine.
Okay,
Thank
you.
you.
Further question?
No, second question.
Go ahead.
If the project is late, are there any penalties in place for overruns payable by Ocean Interiors in respect of the contract for the production of those units?
Yes, there are.
And at the risk of being told the same thing, I suppose the minister might have it in him to provide details of that at some point to this honorable House. But, I get the point.
I think that may be a bit specific, but he would know that there are penalties. To be able to quote the penalties off the top of your head may not necessarily be expected.
The minister's normally so well informed, but there we are.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No more questions.
Okay, no problem. Deputy, your questions for your second statement. The opposition leader would like to put questions to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Understanding that the modular housing units are meant to be transitional units, what guarantees is the government going to put in place to make sure that those temporary accommodations do not become permanent? Thank you.
Minister?
We intend on building many homes so that they do remain transitional.
Supplementary?
Second question, Mr.
Second
Speaker.
question. Okay.
Regarding the affordable housing strategy, how will this strategy ensure that seniors and persons with disabilities are provided with suitable housing?
Yeah, it is another good question. Mr. Speaker, I can assure the honorable member and the people of Bermuda that there will be substantial homes available for our seniors going forward.
Supplementary?
With the
Supplementary or new question?
supplementary,
Okay.
would the honorable member please provide a timeline when those units will become available to the public? Thank you. And the square footage as well. Thank you. Yeah, because they need space for the wheelchairs and walking.
Mr. Speaker, the timeline will be a lot sooner than what he and the rest of Bermuda might think they are. But to be serious, within the next 24 months, I expect. Tell you what, Mr. Speaker, let's do it this way. Within the next few weeks, there will be an announcement made that will answer all those questions, because the intent is for us to provide enough homes where there won't be any waiting list for homes in this country.
Supplementary? Supplementary? Yeah. One of your members.
Thank you. I can ask a supplementary.
Your
on that.
supplementary?
Thank you. Would the honorable minister consider and do bring that report to this House before we break after the next sitting of Parliament, rather than doing it in the media, so that it can be scrutinized and we can ask questions?
I may have a Christmas present for the honorable member.
Now, do you would like to put a further question? You're fine? Okay, Minister, there are other members who have questions for you. MP Campbell, would you like to put your question still?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the minister, how was the limit of maximum amount of the loan of $125,000 determined?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that number was determined as the honorable member who asked the question, being the former chairman of the Bermuda Housing Corporation. I'm sure that he is aware that. Oh, the public might not be. That's right. Mr. Speaker, that was a number that was determined by the technical officers at the Bermuda Housing Corporation based on their experience of houses that are in the country that need repairs.
Supplementary?
Yes, a supplementary.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, given that depending on who you speak to, the cost of per square foot cost of construction in Bermuda is anywhere from $600 per square foot, approaching $1,000 per square foot. And given that these units were described by the minister as unfit for occupancy, does the minister believe that 125 will bring meaningful renovation to these units and that are currently unfit for occupancy?
Yes, sir.
Supplementary and new question?
New question.
Yes.
Could the minister advise how many staff does the BHC have that are qualified to manage projects?
Several.
Can we get a number?
I don't think he would carrying the staff complementary breakdown of that may not be something he'd carry with him in his pocket.
Okay, but Mr. Speaker,
I'm sure he wouldn't mind getting it for you in the future.
with these several qualified people who can manage projects, and the fact that the minister advised that the Housing Corporation will be taking on the management of these renovations under this program, will this put a strain on the resources of the Bermuda Housing Corporation from a project maintenance perspective, whereby their own the maintenance of their own projects will suffer?
Minister?
I'm happy to inform that member, that honorable member, and the people of the country, Mr. Speaker, that a project manager is close to being hired to assist with these programs.
Supplementary or new question?
Supplemental.
Yes.
Can the minister advise what is a reasonable number of projects that one project manager can manage at any one point in time?
Mr. Speaker, how long is a piece of string? I mean,
Mr. Speaker, it's a reasonable question considering we're talking about the people's money. It is a reasonable question.
That could be contained in your report when you come back.
Mr. Speaker, that honorable member who happens to be in the industry to ask that question is quite shocking, to be honest. To say how many...
Mr. Speaker, the general public is not in the industry.
Beg your pardon? Mr. Speaker, a project manager can manage a door being replaced. He can also manage a house being built. He could also manage a 64,000 square foot house to be built. So to ask that question, how many projects a project manager can manage at once, is really a little stretching to be the least, especially from someone that is in the industry.
New question that you're using to supplements. This will be your
No further questions, because we're not going to get anywhere
All
with
right.
this.
And our minister MP Fay had put his name down for questions. You still have questions for the minister?
I do. Thank you.
Okay.
On the properties under review with multiple bedrooms, is that going to be for entire families? Is it going to be broken down by individuals? If you have a 4-bedroom house, in other words, is it for one family or is it likely to be for multiple families? Just a question. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, we would expect that 4-bedroom homes would be for a family that is looking for that accommodation. To think that the honorable member suggesting that maybe we have several families in a 4-bedroom home, I think it would have to be a little bit more specific.
Mr. Speaker,
than
he's
that.
misleading the House. That was not in any way the intent of the question, as he well knows.
Well, didn't minister finish? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now, would you like to put a supplementary question, or would you like to raise your point of order?
I'll raise my point of order,
Point
Mr.
of
Speaker.
order.
Mr. Speaker, the question was whether or not people are going to be split up. I'm not in any way suggesting that that's appropriate. It's just a question to make sure that it is, in fact, full families will be able to take advantage of a 4-bedroom home. I think that people would like to know things like that, especially when the lists are so long of people that are requiring housing. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, that's even worse, that question. He wants the honorable members asking if families are going to be split up. Really? For a 4-bedroom home? So is he talking about a 20-member family then, maybe? That he may know more than me. But, where I come from, a 4-bedroom home would be for a whole family.
Okay. Any further questions?
Next question, please,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Speaker, the minister made mention of the fact, I believe, that the landlords were responsible for ensuring that the gardens are maintained, et cetera, of these houses. Are there any guardrails in place to make sure that in fact happens, since some of these houses have been allowed to get into the state they are because of poor landlord maintenance? So are there guardrails in place to make sure that the maintenance does in fact happen on gardens, et cetera? Thank you.
Yes.
Supplementary?
Yes. Can the minister please today share what those guardrails are?
Mr. Speaker, monthly inspections are carried out.
Seconds? No, you're done? Okay, good. Minister, that's a final question for your statements this morning. We'll move on. The next statement is from the Minister of National Security. Minister of National Security, you have two members who would like to ask questions thus far, and the first is the opposition leader. Would you like to put your question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Honorable Minister of National Security please inform this Honorable House of what the total cost will be for the X-ray building, and what measures will be put in place to ensure that there are no cost overruns?
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know the exact number that the building's going to cost, but what I can say, since it's custom made and whatnot, the costs will be monitored. So it's very unlikely that there will be a cost overrun with a building that's being built custom made for customs. Custom made for the project.
Supplementary?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Understanding that these significant capital works would have been in the budget book, how is it that the minister doesn't know what the actual cost of this project is projected to be when the number should already be in the book? This raises concerns.
Mr. Speaker, so if it's in the book, I think honorable member would have access to it also.
Supplementary or new question?
Regarding the importance of the X-ray building to protect our shores, as it's a significant port of entry, has the minister identified other ports of entry that are also significant to protect this island from drugs and other contraband?
I think the statement today was pointed just at that one location and the fact that it's been built and the cost going on. It may to talk about other areas, may be a bit outside. So if you can direct it directly to what the statement was.
No, I understand, Mr. Speaker. It was in the wording of the statement talking about the fact that it was a significant point of entry, which suggests that there were others that were not mentioned in the statement. I'm just wondering if consideration to those has also been given. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. All right. Supplementary.
Understanding that consideration has been given to the other ports of entry, what measures, specific measures, are being taken to address the risk posed to our border security? Thank you.
Minister? Okay.
Mr. Speaker, this particular paper is for the Hamilton dock, and as we assess other ports of entry, I will definitely bring a statement to the House.
All right. Minister, thank you for your opposition leader, but MP Fay, you still have questions for the minister on this statement?
I do, thank you. The minister advised the enhanced dock technology will help uphold standards of national security. Can the minister therefore share with this House the percentage of containers screened on a daily basis that pass through the Hamilton docks that are brought into the island, and the percentage of containers that will likely be screened post-enhancement? Not asking for specific numbers, just percentages of increase, given that it's enhanced national security issues with the X-ray machine.
Okay. Minister?
I don't have a percentage with me right now, but as the honorable member knows, I could get into him next week.
The minister has indicated he'll supply the answers for you for next week.
I appreciate the cooperation. Thank you.
No
I have no
further
more questions.
Okay. Minister, that's all the questions for that statement. We'll move on. The next statement is from the Minister of Tourism, Transport, Culture, and Sport. And Minister MP Robertson has questions for you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is, does this new digitization require any new hires or additional training?
Minister?
The answer is no, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will this new social media platform be managed in-house?
So this would be a second
This is
question.
supplemental.
Second question or supplemental to that one?
This is supplemental.
Okay, all right. Supplemental.
Because I asked about
Yeah, yeah.
originally about new
Okay.
staff, so
All
I'm
right.
saying, okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
will this be
Okay.
managed in-house? Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Second sub or a new question?
New question, Mr. Speaker. Second question. As the digital footprint rises and we move into social media platforms, will there be any compliance training or cybersecurity training for staff that are operating this particular platform?
Minister?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to remind the honorable member from the other side that that is already happening now, but it comes under a different ministry. It comes under the minister responsible for Cabinet Office and Innovation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. All right. Supplementary or third question?
Yes, one supplemental.
I'm sorry? Okay.
Along with this new social media page, will this be managed in addition to the duties that the TCD staff already have, or will this be requiring somebody additional to oversee it or come in to run it? Thank you.
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, once it's up and running, we will be sure to let the honorable member from the other side know who's operating it. Thank you.
Okay. No further questions? None? Thank you. Minister, that's the only state questions for you this morning. We'll move on. The next statement has questions is from the Minister of Youth, Social Development and Seniors. Minister MP Tucker would like to put questions to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is whether the minister can say what progress has been made to ensure that persons with physical disabilities have equitable access to public transportation, government buildings, and implementing things like signage for people that are vision impaired. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my statement was in regards to the UN Day of International Persons with Disabilities and Human Rights Day. There's questions I would ask that member to pose to the ministry responsible for planning and transportation.
The minister's response is that it was outside of the scope of her statement this morning, and that the ministries, there are other ministries that are responsible for ensuring that the compliance is under their ministry is put in place.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My understanding, though, is that the theme is for the theme of International Day of Persons with Disabilities and Human Rights Day, for the 3rd of December, at least, because there are two different themes as I understand it. And the theme for the 3rd is Fostering Disability Inclusive Society for Advancing Social Progress. So that's why I asked that question as it relates to advancing people and social progress within and having an inclusive society within Bermuda. Can I just get confirmation, because I will ask the question another time then if I'm not permitted to get a response from this time, as to which minister I just want confirmation that the question I just asked is to be redirected to the minister responsible for planning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So basically, I think your question was asking for access to properties. That would be planning, and access to transportation to the buses will come under the Ministry of Transport.
Thank you. So, Mr. Speaker, again, so I understand, then future question on this particular matter, I am to split between the two ministers.
I would want to say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No problem. May
I ask a second question?
Yeah, I was going to say, do
then?
you have a further question?
My second question is whether there is a plan, because I appreciate that there is somewhat of an accessibility strategy that is spread across different areas. But what I would like to know is if there is a plan to implement a single comprehensive accessibility plan, accessibility strategy, rather, again, for people with disabilities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for that question. We have publicly stated that we are working on a Disability Act. First, we'll be making changes to the Human Rights Act to strengthen the rights of persons with disabilities within the Human Rights Act.
Supplementary?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker. So is there going to be a strategy born out of the act, if the minister can just confirm that? So much in the same way that we have like a 5-year strategy for domestic violence, say, is there a specific strategy that is going to be implemented, a single strategy going to be implemented, or is it in progress or planned for people with disabilities? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, there is a policy called the National Disability Policy that exists, and I would encourage that member to read that policy that exists already.
Supplemental, Mr.
Supplementary?
Speaker. Thank
Yes.
you. I do understand that there is a policy in place. However, there are multiple reports, I guess I'll call them that deal with access and disability matters. So what I am asking is there a plan? Because with things diffused in different places, sometimes things don't get done. Hence the reason why we still can't get people in wheelchairs on our buses. So what I am wondering is there going to be a plan to have a single accessibility strategy that all entities will be working from to make sure that we can actually get stuff progressed and done? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, like the member mentioned, there are many strategies and plans that already exist. There's a national disability policy. There's a white paper on transportation as it relates to persons with disabilities. There's a national senior strategy, Mr. Speaker. There's also a white paper done on inclusion in education, Mr. Speaker. There's also a there is one more. I cannot think of it, but there are many strategies that exist out there, and we need to, as a government, continue to work through those strategies, and that's what we're doing. As far as accessibility, there is the policy within the legislation within planning that we need to continue to push forward and progress. So there are many strategies and plans that are out there already. I don't feel as though there is a need at this time for another strategy. I think we need to push forward with the plans and strategies that we already have in place.
Supplement. You had your 2 supplements. This be a third question.
No, I don't have a third question, Mr.
Okay.
Speaker. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Minister, no further questions for that statement. The next statement from the Minister of Economy and Labor, you have a question from the opposition leader. Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's promising that the unemployment rate has gone down by 50%. And no, absolutely. Looking at page 20 of the labor workforce survey, line item do not want to work in the age group 55 to 64, as compared to the year before, the number was 2023, and in 2024, it's risen to 124. Do not want to work in the age category of 55 to 64. Can the minister explain why there's been a significant increase in the number of persons who do not wish to work in that age category? Thank you.
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I'm just seeking clarification. On page 20 of the Labor Force Survey report he's referring to, and he refers to age range that doesn't currently exist in the table. So the age ranges are from 16 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 64, and 65 plus.
Yeah, for clarity. Yeah, Minister, you got the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the reports that I have differ from the report in which the opposition leader has. So I'm unclear to where his report was derived. Mr. Speaker, I've solved the problem. The opposition leader is referring to the May 2024 Labor Force Survey. I'm referring to the November 2024 Labor Force Survey. The opposition leader is making reference to the wrong report.
It's an older report, which means the updated facts are different from there. Would you like to just pass on your question there for now? No, just pass on your question for now. Okay, no problem.
I'll go to the next question.
Oh, okay, all right.
Thank you. How does the government plan to support older Bermudians, caregivers, persons with disabilities to remain active in the workforce? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, what you will find in numbers consistently is there are more workers working beyond the age of 65. The government put out a paper as it pertains to retention of older workers. And in that particular paper, we talked about we need to do other things to support our aging population in the workforce. The Ministry of Economy and Labor has presented a paper to the Labor Advisory Council regarding a policy position to promote flexible working conditions for those persons over the age of 65. It will contain various ways in which an employer can continue to retain workers over the age of 65 in different contractual options, whether it be flexi work, whether it be through mentorships and other consultancies that they can participate in, so that we can continue to have gainful and meaningful employment for those persons over the age of 65.
No further question? Okay, thank you. Minister, that was the only members here that questioned for you this morning. So we'll now move on. The next statement is a statement from the Minister of Health. And Minister, the Opposition Whip has got questions for you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. The Honorable Minister mentioned 3 improvements to the N4 HIP and Future Care. And I was just trying to understand with these benefits, will they affect in any shape or way or form Future Care payments on a monthly basis going forward to help cover for this, or will there be a supplemental that might be needed just to ensure that we're covering this, or was this something that was already planned within the budget year?
Mr. Speaker, and I thank the honorable member for that question that speaks directly towards this government's commitment towards strengthening our health system by providing these important enhancements for hip and future care patients. There was money that was allocated last year, in this fiscal year to cover these enhancements, but you may also recall that in the throne speech statement, there was also commentary. Yes, that spoke to, right, that didn't speak to the amount, it just spoke to the provision that there may be a necessity for us to increase the standard health benefit because it has been frozen since 2019.
Supplementary?
No. Next question.
Second question, yes.
Yeah, I'm just looking for it in the statement here. The minister mentioned that the 60,000 for the home care allotted, and also goes on further to mention that they were moving the 15 coverage of $15 rate per hour to 17 point. I didn't write it down. 17.33, I believe it was. Or no, 17.13. But at the end, it gives the reasoning that this was to ensure compliance with minimum wage legislation. So maybe it's just the statement itself, probably could be worded different, but to say that you're ensuring that you're in compliance, is that suggesting that we were not compliant, which I would assume, but I don't think that's what they're trying to say. I'm trying to understand that, because if you're non-compliant, then maybe we need to pay back people some money.
Thank you. I thank the honorable member for that question, and it speaks to the core priority of the government as it relates to ensuring that we are paying out minimum wage.
Yeah.
And so notwithstanding that the benefit previously was at a $15 reimbursement rate where the family were meant to pay the other portion depending on what the caregiver charged, we're trying to be consistent in alignment with the minimum wage, which increased to $17.13. $17.13.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Supplementary or further question?
No. I think, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
the
good.
third question, I
Third
think it was
question?
just
Okay.
a wording. I just want to make sure that we were not falling out of compliance or and my third question then, so for this new coverage, can we expect, or is it required to have legislation to make these changes?
Mr. Speaker, with respect to that, these will be amendments to the health. I don't have it in front of me. 1 second. It'll be amendments to the. There'll be orders to the health insurance order. I don't have the quote, forgive me, but the order will be published today. It does not require, parliamentary scrutiny, and it will be published following this afternoon session, so that we can have a commencement date again, Mr. Speaker, for the 1st of January.
Okay. No further questions. Thank you, Minister. The next statement this morning is for the Minister of Works. Minister, your statement in reference to the chickens. Yes? You have questions from members who'd like to ask you about the chickens. The first is from MP Tucker. MP Tucker, would you like to put your question? Here comes chicken oil.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am very happy to see that the government is making some movement on this, particularly since I've been bringing this up for 3 years. Okay. So my first question is, I would like to know who will be selecting the farmers, what the criteria is, and how many will be selected to be able to manage the feral chicken population on their farms. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think the statement was for the farmers who wanted to participate. They just come in and participate. It wasn't that they were going to select farmers. I stand to be corrected, but that's the way I interpreted it.
Okay.
That
so-
if I own a farm
so-
and I've got a problem with the chicken, so I just contact the department and the equipment is provided.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is there any particular criteria then that is going to be required for the farmers to be able to participate?
Minister, I can't help you on that part.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the honorable member for her question and certainly share her concerns and let her know that the government is focused on addressing this issue, and we will continue to be. In relation to her specific question, there will be a process. That process is still sort of being tweaked, but there is a process and a criteria whereby farmers will be vetted. But ideally, the ministry is looking for as many to participate as we can.
Supplementary?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker. Will the farmers have to report whatever chickens they have culled on their farms? And if I remember correctly, in the statement, it said that individuals can get a cage and then request that Denner come and collect. So will because the farmers are going to be allowed to cull their chickens, so will they also be required to dispose of their own chickens, or will Denner actually assist with that as well? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Again, thank you, the honorable member, for her question. Yes, the farmers will be required to detail the chickens that they cull.
Supplementary?
A second supplementary,
Second
Mr.
sub, yes.
Speaker. So will there be specific, I guess, environmental guidelines required for the farmers to follow as they, dispose of these animals on their properties? Will there be sort of requirements on their properties where they would have to sort of put these chickens once they've been killed? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
The short answer is yes. They, as I said, as the statement did mention, there will be criteria for those. Sorry, there will be training for those farmers before we start that process, and part of that training process will establish the criteria that they must meet to appropriately address those chickens.
New question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, new question. So my second question is, as it relates to public access for the chicken traps, is that $100 rental or is that $100 purchase? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Purchase.
Supplementary?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker. So for those people who may be financially strapped and cannot afford the luxury of $100 trap, is there going to be any kind of subsidy or consideration for a subsidy to help people who cannot afford to spend $100 on a trap? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I want to start by the $100 is at cost. So the government is not earning any money from this particular initiative. The public is invited to participate in other ways to address the chickens. So if they are unable to afford the traps, there are other ways like the mobile app, like notifying Denner on how to address this chicken. So it's not solely focused on the traps. If they are unable to afford the traps, there are other ways to address the issue.
Supplementary?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker. So my supplementary is, we know how the reporting through the hotline has gone. So what assurances can the minister give that making a report through the app will be improved over the hotline process that was previously in place? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As referred to in my statement, part of this addressing is also ramping up and adding additional resources to the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to address this. So it is not just the app, but also adding to the resources to address the issue. So that's what we're doing.
Okay. Third question?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker. My third question is, what steps will the government take to deter the public from actually feeding the chickens and making the situations work? Nice requests are obviously not working. So what is the government going to do to deter people from feeding the chickens?
Minister?
There are a number of methods to address this particular issue. I think I appreciate the honorable member's reference in terms of nice requests. I think part of the issue that we find is a lack of education in terms of the impact of feeding the pigeons and the chickens and stuff. So there will be an added campaign nationwide or countrywide to address, to educate and better inform the public on the implications of said behavior.
Supplementary?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Does the minister plan to introduce any legislation to, again, deter people, the public, from feeding the feral chickens and working against the very initiatives that they're trying to correct? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That's it.
Sorry, can the honorable member rephrase it or
Just trying to know if you're going to legislate anything to penalize people for feeding the chickens.
that is not under consideration at the moment.
Okay. All right. Second sub?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, just for clarity, I'm not suggesting locking people up. What I am saying is maybe introducing fines or.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd lock you up. No.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. No, it's not a question. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify.
No, I didn't expect you to be locked up over it. No. Okay. All right. And Minister, MP Linda Smith would like to. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Question
thank
to
you,
you as
Mr.
well.
Speaker. I was very happy to hear that there's going to be calming measures on Church Road, but I didn't see that there was going to be any paving done on Church Road. So as part of the traffic calming measures, will paving.
Oh, that's on the next statement. That was on the next statement.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. You
Can
didn't
I-
have anyone to check
No,
on
nothing.
your phone? Okay, well, you could.
I got chickened out.
Okay. All right. Unfortunate. Okay. Time ran out on us. Time ran out. Members, the time for question period has run out, and also the time when the clock says that it's now 12:30. We're going to acknowledge first that we've finished the question period because the hour is up. And when we come back, we'll move on to the next item on the order paper. But before we move on to that item, I'm going to suggest that the Premier take the floor and acknowledge what time of day it is.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Given the hour is 12:30, I move that the Honorable House to now adjourn for lunch until 2 p.m.
Are there any objections? None? The House stands adjourned until 2 p.m. for lunch.